going to ask you a question and then you're going to give me an answer, and it's not going to be a good discussion, but it's a legit question. I just was about to have a general, but I'm like, it's not a good podcast topic, but which is silly. Did you do anything for Easter?
No, I had 4 days off. It was great.
Did you? Did they shut at your?
No, but they don't want to pay
public holiday rate.
Public holiday rates. Get the
so you just
school
don't get
kids because they've got all the, they technically got the days off. So
here's, was it? Hold on, I got two follow-ons. So you don't do anything for Easter? Like your family doesn't do anything for Easter?
Not really, no.
No, never does mine, really. So, it's just a weird nonsense of a holiday, is what I've decided. Because here's the thing for me, right? I didn't go see my parents this past Easter at all, right? Mm-hmm. I was busy every fucking day, somehow climbing mountains and driving to Hobart and whatever the hell else I was doing. And then, which my mum is like, too busy to come see us still. Too busy, living your life, too busy. And I made some joke the other day about how, wasn't that the whole point, Mum? Isn't it like you have a child and then, sometimes there's a stage where you set them free and you're like, they leave you. It's like an animalistic, instinct to like a bird leaving the nest and it learns to fly.
Yeah. Because, I'm pretty sure anywhere else in the animal kingdom, the children go away and they never see the parents ever again.
Yeah. And we've talked about how in America, it's this that they do the thing in all the movies and everything. It's like you do the thing and then you go to college and then they fuck off to the other side of the of the country and they only return during Christmas.
Yes, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving or whatever, thing. But my mom was like, and she was only joking. I knew she wasn't actually annoyed. Sarcasm runs through the family. But I was like, you don't fucking care for, like, literally not religious, right? So it's not like please, you got to be here to celebrate.
We need to go to church.
We need to go to church, motherfucker. Like, you're letting down the family. But weirdly, growing up, not religious at all, but we would still always do, and it's just a food excuse, isn't it? Like, the Christmas is like a gift excuse. Yes. It's like, we got to have fish. Good Friday, but have
can't
fish.
Have any red meat. Yeah,
can't have any red meat. And growing up, I remember there was a day, maybe when I was like 18, 19, something like that. I remember one day my dad came home and I was like I'd brought like a chicken burger on Good Friday and I was like eating it at lunch. He's like, can't do that. You're not allowed to have meat. I was like, why do you care? Like, we don't care. Why? He's like, it's just the rules. I'm like, I understand it's the rules if you're
social norms,
Christian or Catholic or whatever. They every year they do the thing it's like an excuse to have fish. But I'm like, man, why are you letting these constraints of hold it? You can have fish whenever you want, really. And also, my family doesn't even really like fish. My mum and dad hate real fish. By fish, what they mean is just battered, like, frozen battered fish from the fucking thing. They don't even mean like, let's get a really nice piece of salmon and like you know what I mean? Like, let's have they just mean fucking let's have Ingham's
fish and chip shop.
Yeah, fish and chip shop. Yeah. Sort of thing. And I mean the fish and chip shop down the road from my parents' place does really good business on. They are always chockers, as I'm sure most mum and what do we call them? Mom pop and grop. Local,
independent.
You know what I mean? Independent, yeah, like fish and chip stores do. So I don't
think there's any chain fish and chip stores, surprisingly.
It's a good point, actually. I can't think of any. Why is that? Why? That's a good. Never really thought about it, but you're right. There isn't really chain fish and chip shops. Have this side note up but next to, so they just built a McDonald's up near where my parents live, So I'm slowly giving away the suburb for anyone that listens and those that are like already live in Launceston. It's going to really narrow it down because how many McDonald's are getting opened in recent memory. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But they recently opened McDonald's up near where my parents live, and it's this whole. I still have not been. Every time I drive past, I go, maybe I'll just go through and get just because I don't really eat McDonald's often, but I'm like, it would look for multiple reasons. A, because it's shit, and B, because I can't eat half the shit in their menu anyway.
Mm.
And even if I did, I'd be like, even if I could eat it, I'd be like, man, that cheeseburger, not worth the money at all. Because I looked at the prices and I'm like, this shit ain't cheap anyway. Like, fuck, you can't even be like McDonald's is cheap fast food or anything.
It depends on what you get. Yeah.
I guess so. But I looked at the menu. I was like, "This shit. It's like you're spending between $15 and $20 for a large meal. Like, good lord, you can get something much better now for that." But yeah, every time I drive past, I think about going through just to say like I've been there. It's been open like 2 months now, and I still haven't been bothered. But I've been witnessing quite a funny thing because basically they brought out like the site they had to build it on. They brought out like an independent, like a takeaway store there. Now and the funny thing about that place is they've been open forever, as far as I'm aware, to the point that like I used to skip school and go there quite often. And then the old lady that works in there, years later, I remember going in there years and years. Like I remember going in there like 2-3 years ago for the first time in many moons since high school, and she recognized me. It was like, "Oh, you used to come in all the time from." I used to go in there a fair bit because, when you're younger, you can just live off junk food to no repercussions at all.
That's true.
And then, B, I used to skip school a lot, or half school a lot. But that's another thing, is be like rocking up there at like 12:30, 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Sometimes just be like, I'm fucking done with school today. I'm just gonna piss off and go there, and then never go back to school. But at no stage did anyone ever go, shouldn't you be at school? You got the uniform on. I know the school's down the road, but so they had to buy at that place anyway. And then those people brought out the one next door, which is still now open. So you've got an independent little takeaway store sitting right next door to this McDonald's, and on like the local Facebook pages and stuff, people are like constantly like posting and being like, make sure to go there instead and stuff like that. I don't know how long it'll last, but I have definitely driven past that McDonald's before and seen more people in the independent place than the McDonald's. So more props to them, all behind it.
They got more seating now because McDonald's is there.
I mean, possibly. And it's kind of weird because I can't say I can picture any other McDonald's or fast food full stop that I have seen or been to, either in Tassie or any other state, where there is an independent place sitting right next door. Like not 5-minute walk away, like right next door.
There's a lot of McDonald's nowadays, they like to have like the full block, I guess.
It's a massive thing they've got.
And drive through and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got the full car park drive through thing, playgrounds. It's a big thing. And then next door, there's a little independent thing. And it's like you picture the massive block thing, and then there's only like 4 car spots, I think, in the little takeaway place next door to it. In
front of it, yeah.
But people will park. I've seen people park at McDonald's, and I've been driving past as they park at McDonald's, and I've seen them just get out of the car and walk to the takeaway place instead of McDonald's.
Oh, okay, so it's not like the actual building is next to the McDonald's building.
Well, kind of. So, like, if you picture, so you drive along the road, and if you look at your right, your window, the McDonald's building is running vertical along. So it doesn't like the entrance doesn't face out towards the road. It's like a longer vertical one, and then so it's like sitting right next to that. you trying to look up a picture to see this? I wonder if it does come up. Let's. I mean, they haven't updated Google. There wouldn't be any Google Maps or anything because it would be too fresh. But let's see. So, no, the Google Maps picture where it is still old. Here, look at. Hold on. Let me take you on the journey. Where's the little thing I can paste you a link? Look at this. So if you open this Google Maps link, right? This is where it is. As much as I've nearly given away where it is, I'm refusing to say roads and streets and stuff. Still trying to keep some level of ambiguity, unless the people who don't live in Tassie probably work with it.
Yeah.
Right. So can you see that? And if you look around on your right, can you see the big like construction site and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that if you go past the destruction building, and you'll see the one little takeaway place there, they brought that out. It's a different takeaway place in this Google thing, but they brought that out. Now, if you look right next to it, where there currently is a building, which is the people that brought out that other one, that's their current building. But like see the entrance of that place, how it like opens towards the street. The new McDonald's there doesn't open to the street. It's like the building runs vertical upwards. So the back end of the building is backed onto the takeaway place. But then if you go down to like, see the part of this is that servo down the end. Now that whole area is sort of knocked down and has become a car park. But that's what I mean. Like people park there, get out of the car, walk 30 seconds up a little bit, and go to the takeaway store, which is right next to a different store. It's a weird little setup. Like I can't picture any other like fast food takeaway place that has two little independent places. Actually, now that I'm properly thinking about it, because other ones are independent building as well. Two little independent buildings backed onto a massive corporate building. You know? Can you? Have you ever seen anything as
probably?
Just don't take notice, do you?
No, I'm looking at some of the Google images, and there's like a clear fence between the two properties. So
there is, but I mean, like, it's only like there's not a lot of space. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a huge gap.
I remember when my grandparents were living in Melbourne. They'd had their unit for like ages, and then like.
The ones we dropped you at, like the ones we dropped you off at like 10 years ago nearly?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
See, I remember this shit.
Yeah, then like 10 years after the last time I visited, like a KFC was built on the corner, like right next to a bunch of residential places. So I think that's pretty similar. Maybe not another independent, like they just pop up wherever they can fit, really, you know. Usually they're next to servo stations on now, so I feel like
true. Yeah.
So, that's weird.
Here's my other question: are you annoyed that they, considering how long you've worked where you work, that they don't give you the public holiday shifts?
Not really.
No.
You know, it's nice to have like a confirmed day off, I guess. Well in advance. I know I can make plans like 6 months in advance. So I'm not going to work that day.
Yeah. What plans did you make? What did you do?
I didn't have any plans, but it's nice to imagine.
I don't know. I feel like if I was a casual and I worked somewhere and I'd worked there as long as you did, and they were giving the public holiday shifts to someone else, I'd be annoyed. Because that's a prize, you know?
But also no budgets and
yeah, but
it's more.
But didn't you say they give it to someone else anyway?
No, like the juniors who like.
But don't they still get paid?
They're going to cost less than me on that rate though.
Only a little bit.
Nah, a fair bit.
Fair bit. How much is juniors? Like, what's the age of a junior?
It's probably like 17, 18. Yeah.
Okay. And do you
$10 difference? I think.
$10 difference now.
An hour.
So save like $80.
Base. Not probably another double that maybe on a public holiday.
Still. Now, do you
It'd
think
be worth it to get me on because I'm probably better, but
see, that's what I'm saying. It should be a reward. I feel like when you're a casual somewhere, you're rewarded with the. But like when I did rostering at my old job, if I could only afford to put one casual on for a public holiday shift, if I chose you, it was because I thought you deserved it. You know, I'm just not out there floating around the casual shifts in a rotating scheme of better make sure it's fair. I understand that other people think that's what should be done. But let's make it fair. Let's make sure everyone gets at least one this year. No, fuck that. You'll get it if I think you're good and worth it, and it's a prize. You get paid the public holiday shift. You know, if you're shit, you don't get the public holiday shift.
No, that's a totally fair system because it is a prize. You're technically getting.
It is a prize.
Paid however much extra for doing exactly the same amount of work you normally
double
do.
time and a half.
Yeah.
You know, which is like what, like nearly 50. Like I don't know. Most jobs it's like somewhere between $70-$80 an hour.
Yeah,
probably around that, depending on
sure.
like your award rate and all these different things. So, yeah, look, you're out here. You're sitting here very calm, but all I'm saying is like, you didn't do anything anyway. You could have been working it. You could have been making bank. You tell me that if you got offered it, you wouldn't have rather worked it?
I probably would have worked. Yeah.
See? That's what I'm saying. And then you take another day off. They're like, no.
I think you can't afford to get angry about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I think in today's, in the current society, you can deserve
I know
to
a lot of
angry.
people get angry. I don't think
you can get angry at these things. What makes you angry, Ash? What's the last thing that made you actually angry? Like the last thing that you got really angry about?
Do you know what? At work. So we've got like two counters. Like we've got a J-shaped counter. There's like one section that we've kind of cordoned off and like we've got a sign. Please don't stand here. Like because it's like a ticket checker or whatever.
Queuing up something.
Yeah, we don't want people queuing up there. A lady has come up specifically there, put her stuff there. I've kind of motioned her to come to this other spot. And she's like, I'm not going to move. So, being the nice person that I am, I walked over and she's like, oh, I can't see what the prices are. So I maybe move something a little bit.
What'd she have? What's she got?
She was just getting lotteries or whatever, you know.
Right.
Oh, she bought like a plant. Like, she went to the florist, got like a plant, whatever.
Yeah.
She didn't want to move it. 2 meters.
I'm going to assume some things.
Yeah.
She's white and this is a Karen.
Maybe. But yeah, I moved it maybe a little bit too quickly and scraped the sign a little bit so she could see the pricing. It's like, that was so very rude. And yeah. I held my tongue, but you know.
What do you want to say?
Could tell
what do you want to say? What would you have said if you could? If you could let it out.
Fucking rich for somebody who doesn't want to walk 2 meters. You know? You see a sign that literally says don't stand here and you just want to stand there? Fucking hell. You know? So yeah, it's like those little things like that usually. It builds up, you know.
How about non-work? What was the last non-work thing that got you properly riled up?
I don't know. Probably something to do with family. Someone not admitting that they're wrong, which is very frustrating. You know? You come at them with logic, and they just refuse to admit. You know? Stuff like that. What about you? How many minutes ago were you?
Are you saying I'm an angry person?
No. Hours.
I think I'm a passionate person. I'm not. That's how I put it. I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. No. When was the last time I got angry? Angry. I think I was angry today. I was disappointed about something today, but that's not anger. So you got to like really find the correct mood or directive. I'm actually angry about. I think it was probably a road rage thing last week, to be completely honest. which is
makes sense.
Yeah, some motherfucker when I was going up. Oh yeah, I was going up like it was one of those like it was a massive traffic. There always is when I'm like leaving work. It was just some idiot where it's like a big roundabout, and people for some reason freak the fuck out at this one roundabout about like when to go. And I remember I was like sitting there, and I could see how many cars are like lined up from like and it's on a hill too, so you're like sitting there like everyone's sitting there doing like the off the brake, so holding the accelerator, trying to say trying to say at the perfect point. And this fucking dude like had the biggest opening ever, and we're just going around. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, just missed it, and then all these other cars start coming. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You know. Other than that,
just being safe, Dylan. That was.
I don't give a fuck about their safety. They didn't get on the goddamn road. Someone's got places to be, things to do. You know, like what the fuck are we doing?
Are you one of those drivers who like will like when you're on the highway, you'll like change lanes constantly if there's traffic, trying to get as far up as possible?
Nah, not unless I'm in a rush. Like if I've definitely done it when I've been like in a rush to get somewhere, and I've been that guy. I'll sit comfortably. I'll usually like chillax, but I will. And so I think what I do usually is I'm usually more relaxed, especially if most of the time I'm not in a rush. Because you know, Ash, I like to leave on time usually, and so I don't leave things for the last minute. You know, that's crazy.
Going places, I'm fine.
It's crazy talk. Okay,
like showing up to stuff, I'm not.
Okay,
minute, you know.
Okay, very good.
That's just rude.
Sometimes I will sit, like especially if I'm on. I mean, when I drove back from Hobart. What was it, like 2 weeks ago now? And there was like a point where I was, and usually because it's like old highway, I'll just put on my what's it called? Drive whatever thing, you know, whatever automatic drive thing, locks the speed limit, whatever. And my car will just slow down. Yeah, but it's like, you know, the car just slows down when it knows there's a car in front of it, and my thing comes up with like a picture of a car and all this shit. So I'm not really. I'm just there in the seat. I'm not driving, man. So it's like that, and it like slowed down behind someone for like a while, and it took me a minute to realize I'd been sitting on like 99 for a while, and when it's 110, and that was where I was like, oh, fucking, and I'll leave it, and I see like 3 cars overtake me. I'm like, what are we doing? So then I take it off and like overtake, but like, but I feel like I'm like, we're pretty far behind. But no, I'm not. I don't think I'm a particularly angry driver. Sometimes I'm like. If I'm in a rush, if I am late somewhere, and like, but that's usually your own fault. Like when you look back, you're like, the reason I'm late is because of myself, not usually like 99% of the time. If you're late somewhere, it's because of your own fault, not because of other things. There's usually
unless somebody has like an accident, like right in front of you or something like that.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like most of the time in life, if you think of all the times you've ever been running late to work or wherever it is, most of the time it's your own fault. Even if you won't admit it in the moment. But those times where like leave work, then I can get a little bit antsy on the road, especially because it's, you know, when you are running late and then it appears that everyone's out to fuck you, like.
Every traffic light goes around.
Every traffic light, every fucking ridiculously slow ass driver everywhere. You know, everyone that's like, I'm going to drive 40 in a 60 zone, and then I'm going to make sure you hit every red light, and then I'm going to do this. And you're just like, I'm going to fucking kill someone in a goddamn minute. Like, what are we doing out here? You know? But, yeah. I'm trying to think of the last time I was like legit ready to kill someone.
I don't know that I've gotten there.
Ready to fucking strangle someone. I was a very angry teenager. I don't know if that's shocking.
No, I've seen the ukulele.
Yeah, I was definitely an angry teenager, and I would get into a lot of fights with my mum in particular when I was a teenager. I was a shit of a teenager, so I'll definitely get angry and get into a lot of fights then. But, you know, I'm a grown adult now, and I'm also medicated, so like I'm usually pretty chill. And I do think that within usually my current friendship groups and stuff, I am the calm one, which is in part because, well, no, not in part. I do primarily think it's because I'm the oldest person. So there's in part that things bother me less because I feel like age, you just get, like, as you get older, shit just bothers you less. And then B, there is part of me that also goes, even if it is annoying me, I feel somewhat obligated to be the one that's like calming the situation right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like my parents are yellers when they get into like awkward, when, you know, something is wrong. Like, or someone's done something wrong. Or they're unable to get the thing that they want. They
yell at each other, or like the kids, the everything, like,
at the person, whoever is responsible. You know, so naturally, I just don't want to do. That is not the approach I want to take, because you know, I feel like it doesn't end well. Also, being in like customer service or like in the service industry, it's like you never actually want to help those people. Those are the worst.
No. Maybe that's the other thing. Like, so many years of working like retail and like service industries, or retail / service, whatever. Like, it just like, I got so angry working in those jobs usually for so years. It's like now it's like zened me out about a lot of other things, you know, because you go around. It also annoys me when when like you're out and you see someone getting shitty at someone in a retail store or at a fast food place or what have you, and you see the person getting shitty, and you just, like, I remember I've come through and like said next, like, are you okay? Because that guy was a fuckhead, you know, like, because I'm like, the amount of times I wish someone had said something like that to me after, just to try and recenter, or feel like it's okay. But the amount of times it would get like yelled at by a customer or something over the years, and then the next person would be like, yeah, so just this one, whatever. I'm like, you just saw what happened. Can you have a little, like, I was just getting yelled at by this dude, and like absolutely no empathy from this motherfucker over here. I find shit like that so annoying. So I don't know. Yeah, I would say the answer to my question, I think the last person I got into a big fight with was, like, a proper big fight, was probably my ex-girlfriend. So let's record Arcade Couch.